are very honored to have Professor Hui Yan from the BIRS department, who is going to share her experience in her academic career today. And our host today will be Elizabeth from the same department. Guys, please give them a big hand.
Okay, thank you, Paige, for welcoming us. And my name is Elizabeth, and I'm going to be your host for today. I'm a second-year PhD student from the Department of Biomedical Imaging. And this is me during one of my trips to one of my favorite cities in Taiwan. Does anybody know what this is?
Tainan.
Yeah, Tainan, yeah. Okay, so yeah, and yeah, I'm going to be your host, and we have our wonderful speaker today, Professor Hui Yan, also from my department actually. Yeah, Professor Hui Yan, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Hui Yan, and yeah, actually I also graduated from this school, like you guys in here. And I did my bachelor to my PhD in the same department in the same school. And actually, my whole life I only passed through 4 schools, from kindergarten to postdoc even now. Okay, anyway, so I did my bachelor and master here, and after that I worked as research assistant for a year, and came back for my to pursue my PhD degree. And during that period, I am so lucky I got a chance to do the exchange program for 2 years. And that is the beginning of my academic career. And then after that, I also have almost a gap year. And finally, I landed in Stanford as a postdoc.
Okay, thank you, Professor Hui. Can we give her one more round of applause? Thank you for coming. Okay, so you might not actually believe this, but I am mistaken for being Taiwanese. Can you believe that?
No.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm actually not Taiwanese. I come from, does anybody know where I'm from? No? Okay. Yeah, so I come from Namibia. And I think I get this question a lot. For a lot of people who ask me, why would you make such a drastic decision, right, to fly all the way from Namibia to Taiwan, which is really far. I mean, like, I'm leaving my family and friends that I love dearly, but yeah, I think one can say it's a big decision, but in life, I think you have to make big decisions sometimes, because especially when it comes to your career, right? So yeah, so I think for a lot of us here, I think your biggest decision, especially when it comes to your career, maybe like right now the course that you're studying, or it can be where you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years. It was influenced, or you were influenced or inspired by somebody significant. Maybe some of you guys might not have realized it yet, but that's usually the case. So for me, I think that person would be one of my professors from our department when I was undergraduate. For those that don't know, I come from the physics department, which can be in my undergraduate, which it's usually male dominated, at least for my country. I don't know about Taiwan. So I think when you're younger, you're more likely to be inspired by someone of the same gender as you. I'm not a sexist, but that's usually the case, right? Yeah, so she joined our department when I was 3rd year, and I learned that she got her PhD abroad. And that really inspired me, because I just like her. I think some of you can also relate. There's just a teacher that you like, right, that inspires you, and you get to want to be like them. So when she joined, and then I talked to her, she got her PhD abroad, and then that's all actually what inspired me to then look for opportunities abroad, and then Taiwan opportunity came, and then I grabbed it. So here I am. So that's my story. So now I want to know your story. Maybe not your story per se. You can just give me that person that influenced you into be who you are right now? I mean, you are in NYCU, right? So who was that person for you that influenced you to pursue the career that you're pursuing right now? Or maybe where you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? Who was that person for you? So yeah, you can scan the QR code and you can answer in Slido. Yeah, so I think for most people, just like me, it can be your teacher, or it can be a family member, or it can be just someone you randomly met that inspired you. And yeah, so let me hear your answers. Please. Family. My mom, my seniors, parents. Okay, that's a big one, yeah. Especially like for your undergrad, I think like your parents usually like force you to do to go for a certain career. Parents, okay. Boyfriend? Okay, that's nice. Teacher from crime school, suggestion from teachers. Okay. So we have a lot of teachers here, right? So I think usually teachers actually do such a big, have a big influence on our career. So yeah, as you can see here, so it looks like almost everybody had someone that influenced them, right? Someone significant. So we see parents here, we see teachers, and so I think we have a word for this. The person that influences you is called the role model, right? So that being said, so our topic for today is going to be how role models can shape one's career path. So that's what we are going to talk about today. Okay. So, you saw that, Professor Hui, and you saw that everyone has some sort of role model in their life that inspired their career. So I was wondering, would you say it's the same for you? Would you say there's also that somebody, okay, it can be one or more than one, that actually inspired you and influenced you to be the Professor Hui that you are right now? Would you mind sharing with us and our audience how your academic journey started?
Or should we go to the next slides?
Yes.
Actually, I prepared some slides. Okay, so this is the picture I took from years ago, and this is where I worked, yeah, when I did my postdoc. Okay, so how did I become me? So the reason I'm pursuing for the academic career and PhD, even study abroad. Yeah, I think you can recognize this guy, right? The guy over here in the t-shirt.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, that guy. He just arrived. Yeah. So at 2006, when I was during my third year, I didn't know what I want to do. And like most of you, when you enter this school, maybe some of you have the dream to become a doctor, right? A medical doctor. So at that time, I was thinking, oh, maybe I can do the post-undergraduate medical school afterwards. And then this guy, he enrolled another program so he can finish the master and his bachelor in 5 years. And I think, oh, maybe I can do that as well. So at that time point, I think, oh, okay, I will take the master program as well. And I joined a lab, and during that 3 years, that was a good time, and I met several wonderful people. And finally, I think, oh yes, I really, I'm good at doing experiments and I like this environment. So I finally put my application form to this PhD program, and then at 2012, I just followed one of my senior, her step, and start my dream in the United States. Yeah. So this is one of the story. Okay. Yep. So people.
Yeah, so you would say this is Professor Lu?
Yeah, that is Professor Lu.
So you would say Professor Lu is one of your role models?
Yes,
I mean, that is,
for sure.
Yes. Okay, good, okay. I think we have a lot of undergraduate students here, right? And also maybe for a lot of us that are looking to maybe apply to Stanford or maybe go to other labs. Do you remember if you kept the email that you sent to the professor when you applied?
I cannot find the initial email, but I only found the one when I tried to apply for my postdoc. So during that time point, I was asking, can I bring my own funding? But actually, at that time point, I didn't know whether I would get a funding. So I emailed Professor Gambier and said, oh, can I bring my own funding and join the lab again? And he always like, sure, why not, and welcome. And then I was so lucky I got a scholarship, and finally I returned to the lab.
So maybe would you say the easiest way to get into a lab is when you have your own funding?
Oh yeah, for sure. If you want to go abroad, no matter for a PhD or postdoc, it would be better if you have your own funding, no matter from government or your own pocket money, because it can lessen the pressure from all these advisors, especially for the United States. Now, from what I know, the postdoc, the boss have to pay like 80 to 90,000 per year plus insurance. So that's a huge amount of money. That would be nice if you got
the funding.
The funding.
Okay, great. Thank you, Professor Huyen, for sharing. It seems like Professor Huyen had really great role models, the likes of Professor Lu and also her advisor in Stanford, right? Yes. I think it's also fascinating to see how a role model can have a big impact on somebody's career path. Yeah. So, but I think Professor Huyen's stories also give us something to reflect on. Like, remember this little Slido interaction we had earlier on? Yeah, let's take a step further, and I want to turn that into a 5-minute discussion where you now tell your story, because me and Professor Huyen already told our story, like about how we got into our careers. So now it's your turn to tell your story and do that in a discussion, because earlier on you just typed the name. Now it's time to actually share with each other about those role models, how they inspired you into your career. So let's join the groups. And then at the end, we'll have a presenter that will share the most interesting answer. And also you get to win a gift. Yeah. So let's go into our groups. You can group according to, do you have the cards? Yeah. So you have 5 minutes to discuss.
turns out that most of the physics, most of the math I actually use in physics. And that's how I know that I want to use math. And that's how I got into physics. And then a couple of years later, I got into a physics program in college. That's how I joined this track. That's how I joined this track. And during my PhD program, I realized more than do research. And that's how I changed my career to that's where
Okay, so I think every story from our group members are very interesting. So I think I would just conclude. So I think We discussed that family support is very important, but you also have to follow what is truly your hobby or what you love in order to explore more and try to love your field in college life or maybe in graduate school. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Oh, yes.
Yes, I discussed with my friends about family support, and I feel that our teachers and parents belonging to family, it's very important because I'm an international student, so my home is far behind from Taiwan. So, but still they call me every day, and they are doing their responsibilities, and also I feel that if I do good for them, and also I do for Taiwan, and it's very good for me, and I think that it's very good to get an opportunity here, and I think this supports helps me a lot in my future.
Thank you for sharing. Is there anybody else who wants to share? We have gifts. Okay. Oh, yes.
So hello everyone. So I would say the biggest influence for me on my career choice would be the science-based cartoons I watched when I was a kid. So those cartoons are the main reason I chose science as my career, and I also ended up in academia. Because it always felt like there are some superhero cartoons where they wear capes and save the world, but I always felt like I wear my lab coat, do research in the lab and save the world by doing any of my research, so that it will help the world to end some of its problems or something. So I would say those cartoons really influenced me in picking up this career.
Wow, okay. That's really nice. Thank you guys for sharing. I think we had like really interesting answers. And for you guys, you said it's your family that inspired you. And for the guy in the back, you are foreigner, I think, right? So yeah, you say that your role model is, you are inspired more by your family, and you try to work harder for them. Yeah, I think that's also like comes hand in hand. Sometimes you want to make your family proud, right? So yeah, and I think I also like this answer when your inspiration apparently cannot only, sometimes it's not only a present, but it can also apparently be a cartoon. Yeah, so I think that's really cool. So Professor Hui, do you have any feedback you want to give to the share?
Yes, I totally agree what you just shared. Like, curiosity is always the key to push you moving forward and explore all these new things. And for sure, families is a strong support, especially you have to go abroad. For example, 2012 is my first time I left my house. I left my home and stayed by myself. My first time. At that time, I'm already 25 years old. It's crazy, right? And I also Skype a lot at the first 2 months, every day with my parents. And I still remember some of them, not my mom or my dad, but other seniors in the family. They cried, and I don't know why. Why did they cry? I didn't cry, but they cried. But I think that connection will support you no matter which challenge you are facing, and I mean, no matter which career path you will pursue in the future, and that will be stressful, and you will have to conquer all these, and no matter the family support or friends, you cannot do it by yourself. Yeah, that's something I want to share.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, thank you for sharing. So not only you need your role model, you need like support, yeah, for you to excel in your career. And I think now it's clear that you guys shared about your role models. I think it's now clear how impactful a role model can be on your career choice. But does it stop there? Like, what happens now after you got the career that you wanted? Now you have to go into the workplace or the work environment. Do you believe that a role model can still be impactful on how you are in the work environment? For example, maybe how you are with your colleagues, or if you're a professor, how you are with your students, and how you are with everybody. Do you think they can still have an impact on your workplace? I certainly think so. So I am curious for Professor Huyen, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Maybe you can start maybe by sharing any of the memorable experiences that you had, especially working in Stanford, under your boss in Stanford. Like, did you gain any gift or like lessons from him that you apply in your workplace right now? Maybe how you are with your students, for example.
For sure. So actually I got a lot from Sam, Dr. Gambier, and no matter how you treat the people and from the scientific part. So this is basically what our lab looked like. In average 30 to 40 people. And during that time you have to learn how to get along with all the people. And all these people, they come from different fields, so you can learn a lot no matter what, how to treat people or the knowledge thing. And I think the biggest thing I want to share here is something interesting, no matter you have money or not. So as long as you are living abroad by yourself, you'll lose some weight, as we can see here. Okay, so the first thing I learned from Dr. Gambier is to create a really good vibe in your lab. So this is something happened in the first 3 months when I first arrived at Stanford. So we went out, like the whole lab. During the weekday, we go to the Six Flags, the playground. And with the roller coaster, there's a story. Sam, he asked me, would you like to ride with me? And I can give you anything you want. And all the postdocs said, yes, say yes to him, and asked for 2 weeks payable leave. Okay. But at that time, I just arrived at the wonderful place. I don't know what I want. And I just rode with him anyway. And this is a picture they are trying to play these racing car. And this is my advisor. He's just like a big kid. And he played with us. So this guy. And actually during the video you can see he's actually driving the car in crash irons. Okay. And yeah, this is something I learned, and I want to create this kind of environment in my lab, or hopefully to influence the whole department. Okay, and being one of the lab members, so we always have these goodbye cake or goodbye parties, and I received lots of best wishes. And interestingly, I don't know why. So this is the picture I took when I first left Stanford as a PhD student. And maybe he did foresee something. So this is the book he gave me, Leading Your Laboratory. So I don't know why he gave me this as a gift when I first left. And this is something he wrote, so always he will help us no matter how.
So maybe he knew that you were going to be a professor?
I don't know, and hopefully that's true, and I can do a good job here. And what I want to share here is, during that time, I just tried to be a different one, be brave and try to make new friends and share the good things from Taiwan, and let people know how good is Taiwan. So at the goodbye party, I also purchased the bubble tea here. And during that time, the story is like, the daily budget for myself is $15, like 500 NT dollars at that time. But that day, you guys guessed how much I spent for those bubble tea. I even rent a car to buy the bubble tea. I spent like $200. And this is something I want to share. I don't know why, but I just want to make friends with them, and yeah, I feel I'm so lucky to be one of them. Okay. So this is the photos I took from the second time when I was the postdoc. So we're just like family. I also babysit my lab members here. Kids, yeah, you can even see in their house as well. And we also hang out together a lot. So this is the thing I like this kind of environment. Okay.
Okay, great. It looks like you were not only there to do your research, but you're also having fun at the same time.
Yep.
I think, which is really good. Yes.
So I keep going?
Yes.
And actually, unfortunately, Dr. Gambino passed away 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago. And when I knew he was sick, I even flew back during the national holiday. It's a 3-day holiday. And when I arrived at the airport and I'm purchasing the insurance, and the lady told me, "Are you sure the date is correct? Because I only flew back in 3 days. I'm going to the United States, but only for 3 days. And I only met him for 15 or 20 minutes. And that's the last time I had a chance to see him in person. And I still remember he told me he really wants to hug me, but he has a severe cold and he doesn't want me to get infected. At that time, he was diagnosed with cancer, and unfortunately, 2 years later, he passed away. And I also took these from one of my colleagues, his traits. Okay. And here you can see something Dr. Gambino, he always told us, and this is something I really learned from him. So the reason it's called research, not search, because you have to reiterate all these things and to search these things that already exist in these environment or in the surrounding part. And this is something stupid, but like here, when you go out the trend of life, all that will remember of you is how you make others feel. Be kind. So this is something he always tells us: be kind to each other, and all the people you met in your lab will be your siblings in the future, the academic siblings. Okay, so what else? Yeah, so something like this. So that is a huge loss for us, and you can also see the picture. Actually, it's the village. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, so this is made by lots of pictures. These people met with them at different time points and finally make these pictures to duplicate that. Yeah, so this is something. Okay.
I'm sorry for your loss, of course. Yeah. So would you say like you guys still like hang out with each other?
Okay.
Now?
Yeah, sure. So we still connect to each other a lot, and we are still families. And after that, they also held this kind of Gambino symposium each year to gather everyone to celebrate his success. And this is a picture I took this September, and I was here, the little one. And these are so-called great children from the lab. So these are my students and other students. Yeah, you can see Milo right here. And yeah, I also try to reconnect to all my friends. And if you are interested, you can also connect me, and I'm happy to connect you to all these professors. Yeah, this is something I want to do when I come back to Taiwan as well. Yeah.
Great. But I'm curious. I saw the Gambi name.
Yep.
Well, what is it for? Like, is it the name of the professor?
Oh yeah, that's the last name.
Oh, his last name. Oh, okay. Okay, great. So now you are Professor Huyen, and you are in our department. Do you also like do these things with your students?
I try to, although my lab size is relatively small. So what I try to do is we hang out, we eat out, and yeah, we even have this kind. So this year they try to celebrate my birthday. I tried this unicycle. I learned how to ride this from one of my students, and we also go camping. Yeah, and this is the thing they made for me, and this is the souvenir I made for them to celebrate their graduation. So kind of very good interactions, hopefully. Okay, great.
Thank you so much, Professor Hui, for sharing your insightful stories. So you still have your role models.
Yeah, so lastly, my role models. Or I think for each of you, the one you want them to be your role models, the people you like. You like the way they treat people, or you admire in their success, something like those. So just try to be the person you like, because you see something from them, then that's the reason you want to be one of them. So here you can see Professor Jill and Alvin, and yeah, the one in the middle is actually my high school teacher, and even now we talk to each other like monthly or weekly. And this is Professor Gambier and my KFC advisor. Okay, thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Professor Hoyen, for sharing your story again. Yeah, I think it's really inspiring to a lot of us that are also maybe some of you that are looking for role models. Yeah, it also gave us something to also reflect on in our career. But now I wanna, before we wrap it up, I want us to have a Q&A session where you can ask anything to Professor Huyen. If you have any questions that you wanna ask, feel free to raise your hand. You can also actually type on the slide, but we'll give the opportunity to those that raise their hands first. So if you have any questions.
Hello, nice to meet you. Can you tell us what is the name of your PhD guide in Stanford, and you said that how different peoples from Taiwan and USA, and after you going USA, how you accommodate those American peoples?
Okay, so basically I think, I'm not sure if I understand correctly, but I will characterize these into like culture shock. So what I was first in the lab, I was so surprised because you can make mistakes. You cannot make mistakes in Taiwan. Most of the time you will be afraid of making mistakes. And the first 2 or several lab meetings, the people just presenting their, I would say, their failed data, and professor, he won't blame you, and he will just trying to help you to solve all these problems. And the other thing I would just like to encourage all of you, just be confident in yourself, because you are pretty good actually. Because all those, there's no American people. Okay, so the American people, they are so confident, they can even answer the thing they don't know the answer. They just try to answer anything they think, oh, that should be right, and actually no, it's not wrong. So just be confident and say something from yourself, and what else? Step out the comfort zone, try to explore and experience. You can be better than what you thought. Hopefully that can answer kind of things. Okay.
Thank you. And can you share your PhD guide, your doctoral guide name?
My doctoral guide. You mean Professor Gambier or?
Yes.
His name?
Yes.
Sanjeev Gambier.
Can you repeat this?
Sanjeev, S-A-N-G-J-I-V, Gambier.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, we have a question. Did you really get 2 week paid time off?
No, because I wasn't paid that time. I bring my own money at the first year, but second year he paid me a lot. So yeah, eventually I didn't spend any money from my pocket during those 2 years.
Oh, okay. What made you choose to come back to Taiwan? Did you like? Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. So I was a family. Yeah, I still want to stay close to my families. It's a little bit weird to, especially unless you met someone important when you study abroad, or I think most of the people they will come back. I really liked the days I working in Stanford, no matter in the lab or and now with friends. I also have lots of Taiwanese friends that here as well. They are also a strong support to me. Yeah, just if you want to study abroad or you want to do something, just go ahead and give yourself a chance. Or you guys can talk to these people, right? They are so brave to come to Taiwan.
Yeah. I think it takes a lot. Yes, one
I
question.
have one question. So, if I remember right, you mentioned that we need to have our own funding when looking for post options. So, how easy was it to fund yourself, and who supported you? Could you say more on that?
Yeah, I would say it will be easier to get the position, but if you are really, really good, you can still get the position without the funding. That's something I know. So in Taiwan, you can apply for this from governments, or you can also talk to your future advisor and apply for the funding or scholarship fellowship from their own department with university or even other foundations. Yeah, there are lots of resources.
I wanted to know who supported you.
So at the time, Taiwanese government supported me to go there. Thank you very much. Yeah, I did. I played softball there and played basketball as well. But mostly I play basketball by myself. I'm also shooting. But I bike a lot because to save money, so I bike like 3 miles away, so 6 miles a day. So that's one of the reasons I lost 5 kilograms in the first month.
Okay.
First one.
What's your goal?
So at the time, when I came back to Taiwan, I already know I will be the faculty, and of course, someday I want to be a full professor. And yeah, I try to inspire someone, or maybe not inspire, but helping others, helping these talented people. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so I think we are done with the questions. Yeah, you got all the answers that you wanted. So I think this also brings us to the end of today's event. And thank you again, Professor Huyen, for sharing your inspiring story and also, I guess, telling us that role models can have such a big impact, not only on your career path, but also on you as an individual. Just like it can make you a kind person, be kind to others. I think it can also teach you a lot of things that might not be also related to your career. So yeah, thank you for coming. Do you have any final advice that you want to leave with the students? Be kind?
Maybe
I like that one.
Should I go to the next one?
Yeah, advice for any
Advice.
students.
Just try to do, I mean, if you have something you want to do, just go ahead and do it. And don't be afraid, but be brave. And yeah, I think that's something. And keep learning. That's really important, especially for your generation. Yeah, I don't know what's AI, but you guys have to learn what is AI, and that will help you as well. And what else?
Okay.
It's kind of
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so that brings us to the end of our event for today. And Thank you guys for coming.
Yes.